Spyderco Ti Military. It's a discontinued model. I've had it 2 years. I've only really carried it in the wintertime. Still has like that chalky feel to it. It's frame lock. Comparison I'll be making is with the G10 model, which is the liner lock. Obviously with different construction, being it's G10. We'll go ahead and leave this up here like that. Do little dimensions. Talk about some dimensions here. So 5.9 ounces, going on almost 6 ounces for the titanium version. And this is 4.2 ounces for the G10. Both of them, the blades are the same, so 1600th stock for the blades. 4-inch blades and 5-inch handles and a 4-inch blade, so overall 9.5. And then width, handle width, I could not pull up. I'd say it's under 1/2 inch, 4/10 maybe, 4500ths, somewhere in that range. Because this one is over, I don't know what this one is, 6/10 maybe, 5500ths. So it's actually, you can see, quite a bit wider. Kind of a bad hold job there. Anyway, yeah, you can tell. I'm doing this one-handed as usual. So there are some differences, mainly in the weight. Price-wise, this one I think going was $250 to $300. And I bought it on closeout for $199 from Knife Center, I believe is where I got it. And then this one, going rate for the black blade, the coated blade is $191, and I think the regular stainless or polished or whatever is probably like $175, $177, somewhere in that range. And I think that's what I actually paid for this 4 or 5 years ago, was in the 170s. So they've gone up. So what I've kind of come up with is, first, if there was going to be a knife model out there and a company to do it that already existed in like a G10 or, you know, aluminum maybe, or plastic, and then you'd like to see it in a frame lock version in titanium, it'd probably be this knife, honestly. That was one big ass knife, and then you made it out of titanium. You know, that's a 5.5 inch handle. So I don't know, is that the largest titanium knife frame lock? Largest one I think I know of. The only other knife that I'd be interested in that is a titanium, a fully titanium and a frame lock, is the Chris Reeves knives. And I did pull up a dimension. Personally, I'd still probably go for this just because of the blade. The Chris Reeve is shorter. It's 3 3/4, and this is 4. But, or it's not 3. It might be 3 5/8, and this is 4. And the Chris Reeves blades are hollow ground, which is, you know, I have interest in that. I think that's pretty cool, like buck 110 type thing. So that's nice. Otherwise, though, as far as a frame lock goes, this is perfect, I think. Has not moved since I got it. It's always been at that 40%. If I get that to focus here, maybe. Anyway, it does have the steel insert. For some reason, this guy is not focusing a little bit. Steel insert, it's about 40 to 50%. I think that's pretty typical for these. This is the same way on the liner lock. I think when I first got it, it was, the lock might have been to kind of flush the blade like yay, but then as soon as it broke in, 40%, it's perfect. And you got that ramp tang in there of the blade, the lock face, the way they do it. It's got that curve to it. I don't know if that's turning out. I think pretty much everybody's knowledgeable of that, aware of that. There's a little better focus. So that's perfect. I mean, it's like 40% lockup. As far as I know, they don't really go past that. And of course, can't do it with one hand, but no side to side and no up and down. I think that if anybody owns these, they pretty much say the same thing, unless you've beat on them or they've gotten run over. They might have developed a little bit of play, but absolutely rock solid. And then this one, absolutely rock solid. Now, the only kind of what I was trying to get to before, the only other knife that is a titanium frame lock that I'm interested, that I'm aware of, that I've seen, as the Chris Reeves knives, like the Sabins and the M&Ms on. And I don't think there's any way, unless I get my medical degree, which I'm not working on. You see what I'm saying? I'm never going to pay $450 for a knife. I think that's the going right now is $450 for those. This I bought simply because it was on closeout. It's $200. Still really expensive, but I think for what you get for $200, I mean, it's kind of the best deal available if you want a titanium frame lock knife. And I don't think there's a whole lot of titanium knives out there that are not frame locked. So I'll just say a titanium knife. Right. The Chris Reeves, I do like those. They look good, but price wise, that's just for me. Not going to happen. Plus, I pretty much paid what you pay for one of these for titanium. Same blade, S30V, S30V, same exact geometry, same 15 degree or so, 15 to 17 degree, I think, bevel, secondary bevel here. Fairly good grind, primary grind, I think. It's a good cutter. It's good enough for me, I think. Honestly, I just did a video on this. This one is better. Okay, I don't know if it's just this particular knife or what, but this is a better cutter. It is better slicing wood, carving on wood, whatnot. And I brought that up in other videos. In this one, or the last one I did as well. If you haven't seen that one and you're interested, I do have a video. Just last one I did maybe a week or so ago. And this is a plastic. I think the liner is in it. Is aluminum. It's not even stainless steel. I guess it's aluminum. I don't know. I always assumed it was steel, some kind of stainless steel, but I guess it's aluminum. Very light, or light for the size anyway. Just over 4.5 ounces as I recall. Plastic handle. $50. I think better, and I mean honestly, like I've used this a lot on wood, this actually holds a better edge. It cuts better than that. It has a better edge, better ergonomics. The only thing that has over this knife, and I'll get to this because the video is going to be on that. The only thing that knife has over the Voyager, in my opinion, is it's got a narrow handle. Okay, so it's a little easier to carry, maybe easier in your pocket or something, and then it's got a better clip. Now, let's go back to the handle width. This actually gives you better ergonomics, so it doesn't even have that. I suppose you can make the argument that G10 is better than plastic, but is it? I don't know. It may be, but I don't, I mean, it doesn't, for the price, I'd rather pay less and get this because it's going to do the same exact job and it's going to be cheaper. And I think actually lighter weight. And it's not all about weight. It's not all about price, but you start, aggregating all these things together, this is the better knife. So that's my argument on that. Now to get back to the titanium, and this is all obviously strictly opinion, value-wise, I value that knife more than that. This just is a run-of-the-mill G10 knife. Spyderco makes these are a dime a dozen. There's nothing special about it. I think it's a good design. I think it has good ingredients, good. They built out of good materials. I think S30V is a good steel. I think it's a good blade shape. I think it was ground well. I think it's heat treated well. I think it's got a good, excellent lock. I think the ergonomics are good. Then again, they're not as good as that knife over there. But it's kind of the run-of-the-mill knife, right? They got these narrow, skinny little handles. They put a lot of torque or pounds per square inch on your hand when you're using these hard in the field. Whereas that's where this comes in, where it's better ergonomically if you're actually, doing hard, long cuts. But let's make it out of titanium. And I think this kind of just adds value. It adds that frame lock, which might not be any more effective than the liner lock, but it's a little bit more unique, I don't know. It's a little more special, perhaps. Like I said, this is just opinion. The titanium, I think, over time, kind of gives a little bit more character. These right here, those are just water stains, I think. Actually, the last time I actually carried this was in the wintertime. I think it was snowing on me. I think this was water spots. That's the thing. These things are, I guess, titanium is rust proof, right? It is a little heavier. It still has the same dimensions, so I don't know if it might be a little better ergonomically because it doesn't have the G10, G10 is not bad, but this thing is pretty smooth. Yet it's not slick by any means. No stupid jimping except for on the blade, which, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm not going to grind it off, so I guess it's not too bad. Then again, great grind on the blade, I think. Pretty well. I mean, they could do a little better, I suppose, make it a little thinner behind the edge, because it is noticeable. Like if I go back to back with these guys and this does, it just bites in better, and it holds a better edge. That it's BD1 steel, so go figure. And that's just on wood. Okay, I don't know about cardboard. I'm not a cardboard cutter, and I don't know about rope. All my knives do cut rope, but I don't know. That one does seem to dull up, chip out, and it is that S30V, so perhaps it holds a better working edge for longer than that BD one does. I don't know. I haven't got to that point yet. I use them and then I sharpen them. But anyway, getting back to the titanium part, you know, I value this knife. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. It's, I think it's the only thing that I own that's like strictly titanium. I've never owned a titanium mountain bike because the type of bikes I ride, they generally don't build, they will not make them out of titanium. You know, it's either aluminum or carbon fiber. So it's pretty cool that I have this. I can't think of any, and like I said before, I can't think of any other knife that I'd rather have in this, except for perhaps those Chris Reeves. They do catch my eye, but they're just out of my price range. Now, if I may, aluminum. I own and have owned several, many, I suppose, aluminum knives. I do like them. This one just happens to be the Benchmade, my favorite knife of all time. I've tried not to beat on this one too much, though it is, you know, it does show a little bit of wear and tear and whatnot. Not too bad. But it just adds character to the knife, I think. You know, you drop, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that one time I dropped it. It's going to leave a mark, for better or for worse. And you'll see Benchmades that are just all beat to hell, but they still function like they're supposed to. This one has just been, you know, better taken care of. But the titanium, I think, is the same way. It may not show the wear the same because it's not coated, I don't think. It's just raw titanium. You'll see it scratch up and whatnot, but it won't. Like the anodized aluminum, the paint that's on here or whatever, it's, you know, it comes off and you can see it. And if you get the light right, the whole knife is showing wear. Just nothing too bad yet. It hasn't been through a grinder yet. And then I've been carrying this and doing rock climbing. I've already gouged this up and just got minimal amounts of wear. But anyway, same thing. This one still has that chalky surface. So I kind of personally value like the metal knives better. And that's why, you know, when I was like, sweet, saw the price on this, was able to get it. I was pretty excited, pretty happy. Still am very happy with this knife. As soon as it starts snowing, I start skiing, I'll start carrying this. Not skiing necessarily, but during those times. And I think that's pretty much all I got. Just to kind of, if you come across one of these on the used market, or if they ever come back out with them again, I mean, it's well worth the money. I don't know. Perhaps the reason why they discontinued them is they weren't selling. Maybe they costed more than what they're getting out of them. I have no idea. They do have other titanium frame lock knives in their, you know, in their line. I mean, they have that Spidey Chef that people like, and then a few more. I'm not really too up on what they have, but I know they have at least a couple more strictly titanium knives with frame locks. So, but cool if I could have gotten this knife with M4. Something like that. A little different than S30V, though. That's a fine steel. All right, that's all I got for now. Enjoy the rest of your day.